Welcome to today's Parenting Pause. My name is Mary Gugesberg, owner and founder of MKG Parent Coach. We're helping families bring mindfulness, kindness, and gratitude to every parenting situation. That's my mission. That's what we're here for. So today's Parenting Pause, we're going to keep going with the word pause. And we started with presence. We then moved to the A, attentive, and today, you, understand. And when I think of understand, I want to encourage you to do listening to understand, not to respond. Okay, big statement. How do we do that? How do we show up and listen to our loved ones? Because we know listening is challenging. There's so many distractions. There's so many things that can pull our attention. Those squirrel moments are real. I want to encourage you to start by self-connecting. Connect with yourself and be aware of your own feelings. Listen with empathy, empathetically listening. And then expression, being present. So I want to start with that empathetic listening. What does that mean? Why? Why is it important to listen? And we listen to get an understanding of the other person, the situation they're in. And the more we show up with that empathetic listening, it may prevent, and possibly it's a great tool that may prevent conflict, but it's a great tool to resolve conflict. Empathetic listening. We want to give space for the other person so that the other person feels seen, heard, and that you are feeling their emotions. So check in with your own emotions, right? We want to be present with their emotions, and the more that the other person feels that you are there for them, you are present, you're hearing, you're exploring those emotions together, that gives that opportunity to go a level deeper. When we're practicing that empathetic listening, we really want to refrain from interrupting. When we are interrupting the other person, it makes us feel uncomfortable and makes the receiver, the person who's speaking, feel uncomfortable, right? But we also want to listen with that intention to hear, to be there. And please hear that as different than listening in silence. Listening in silence can be very uncomfortable for others, so we want to just listen. We want to listen with our eyes, listening with our body language, listening with our emotions, our heart, right? A friend of mine uses the phrase, love the one you're with. And when you're loving that person, you're loving all parts of them, their emotions, their words, their communication. If the other person, they might have a response that they might, as they're sharing, they might be wondering, how are you going to respond? And that might be when we get to take that little look inside and go, I have things I want to say, but hold your thought, because this is when you can check in with the other person. This is part of that empathetic listening. It's giving that other person, what do you need of me for a response? Do you just need to get this off your chest, or are you looking for me to comment? We also, when we're doing that empathetic listening, I feel like I missed something, so hold that thought. We want to summarize. We want to summarize what we heard back in that empathetic listening. We want to summarize with their words. Now remember, I said, don't interrupt and don't interpret what the other person is saying. Repeat back and use their words. Use their words, and maybe you're adding an emotion. It sounded like you were really frustrated when that math teacher gave you your assignment back, and the kiddo might go, I wasn't frustrated. I was hurt because I thought I had done better. And it's giving them the opportunity to correct what you interpret, and it helps them feel valid. It helps them have language to name their emotions. And sometimes when people hear their words that are given back to them, sometimes that can be really challenging for the other person. So just like everything in parenting, this is a learn as you are practicing. There is no perfection. We're going to try things and see how it works in that setting. In one setting it might work, in the next setting it might not, right? Along with empathetic listening, I want to give you 5 things that you don't want to do when you're practicing this skill of listening to understand, not to respond. And the first off is giving advice. Don't offer advice when someone really just needs to be heard. You want to hold your own thoughts, and when that other person, the speaker, is done, that's when you get to say, hey, this sounded like a really challenging situation. Thank you for confiding in me. Did you just need to get that off your chest? Or were you seeking for solution together? Did you want my opinion, my advice? And that gives the other person that opportunity to say, yes, that's why I was sharing with you. Or no, I really just needed to get this in the air. It's out of my mind. I feel better already. But we have to ask. We don't want to just jump in and give advice. Parents, especially to our kids. We want to build that deeper bond, right? And that means being able to offer advice when they are ready for it. So that was the mistake or listening don't number 1. Number 2, judgment. Judgment is, I think, a tricky one. Someone's sharing a story and we're so fast to put our own thoughts, labels, judgments in that other recipient, the person giving the story, already has done their own self-judgment. We just need to show up. Let them know you're there for them. So first is don't offer advice. Second, don't judge. Remove all judgments. In judgments, I would also say we want to remove comparisons. We want to remove judgments. Oh, labels, that's the other one. Remove labels. Next would be the third don't jump in and share your own story. I call this hijacking, right? Someone's sharing a situation and we immediately are thinking of a story that connects, so we want to jump in and share our own. Well, that hurts the speaker, right? We want to wait until they finish. Listen till they finish, and then say, hey, I really relate to this story. Would you like to hear my situation? And the other person could go, at another time, I gotta run. Or, yeah, how did you resolve? Okay. So, advice, judgment, sharing your own. I would say the next one is, number 4 is that comparison. Listening without judgment, without comparing, without hijacking. And then we want to avoid that sympathy card. So it's that I'm just going to agree because it's the easiest thing to do. And that might work for a bit, like, oh, I do agree that, that assignment was really hard and I too didn't do well, or fill in the blank, right? The situation. But you know what? That might work for a little bit, but it keeps us stuck in our judgment. It keeps the other person stuck in their judgment. And it also puts a block in that feeling your own feelings. Having the speaker feel what's really at their core. And once you feel the feelings, taking it that deeper level, that's when you can address what's happening. That name it to tame it, feel it to heal it, right? Then as the speaker is going through that, then that gives me the opportunity also to explore my feelings and how I can respond. So connection is key. Connect. Listening to understand, not to respond. Some guiding words could be, do you want my help? Do you really just need to get this out of your head, off your mind, and that's all you need? Or do you need my help? Sometimes the other person might come back with, I do want your help, but let me just finish all my thoughts and then we'll explore that together. Listening to understand can be so challenging, and please practice grace with yourself. Practice, 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 because this is challenging. A couple of pieces to just remember. Be present. If you have a situation and you're like, Mary, what do you mean by present? Go back, watch our video for the first letter was in pause is presence. Give the person who's speaking your eyes. Give them your body language. Remove a screen, whatever might be interrupting that eye contact. If it's a phone, parents, our kiddos live in our homes for such a short time. When they walk in that room and you can tell they want to talk, put devices away. Be present. 18 years, it flies by, does it not? When we're listening, we want to remove judgments. We want to remove labels. We want to remove those comparisons, those interruptions. Fill in the blank. Don't hijack their story. Be fully present, attuned to your feelings, and most importantly, the other person. Validate. So if you have a question about validation, that was last term's message. Stay curious. Stay curious with what your own feelings are and the needs of the one speaking. What is that? What curiosity? Now, when I say curiosity, please don't interpret that as asking a bunch of questions while the other person is sharing. Wait until they're done and then ask your questions. If you ask questions while they're sharing, it's like that hijacking again. I really wanted to tell you about this, but you just made me go over here and talk about this. Stay in the topic. Stay focused. By being curious, it's staying on that task, waiting till the end, and then asking that next layer question. Or repeating back. Hey, I'm curious. Is this what you meant when you said, right? It's being available, being attuned. When you summarize, that helps invite the other person to know that you heard them. It also gives them the opportunity to correct you. And then I want to that other reminder is ask. Did you just need to get this out of your head? Do you want advice? What do you need of me for a response? Bless you all. Parenting is hard. Listening, there is so much information coming at us all at once. Practice this. Practice your listening to understand, not to respond. And reach out, because like I said, this is hard. Reach out if you want to dive deeper in this. Mary, give me some more situations. How do I truly show up for my loved ones to have that engaged conversation, to have those? And we'll role play. We'll do other situations that help fill your toolbox. I wish you well. Thank you for listening to understand. I do want you to respond electronically if you have questions or wonderings or need support. Parenting's a beautiful journey. There is tools, and I'm here to support you. Be well. I'll see you for our next message. Take good care. Thanks.